Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I'm sharing with you 5 brand new Assetto Corsa car and track mods. We have some super cool stuff on today's list, from some historic and current race cars to some fictional and real life circuits. Before we get into it though, I'd like to give a quick shout out to my second channel, JC Racing. If you want to see some broader sim racing content besides just Assetto Corsa mods, that will be your one-stop shop for it. You can find it down in the top link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get right on to the first track on today's list, and this is Sevilla Circuit. This is made by a Ben 32 star over on Race Department. It is currently in a beta version 0.5 right now, so a lot of the surrounding trackside details still do need a little bit of improvement, but Ben 32 is a fantastic modder here in Assetto Corsa. This 4.2 kilometer long circuit is a privately owned track by David Garcia, a former motorcycle racing world champion, and Ben 32 star is actually going to be using LiDAR data to make this track, so it's going to be pretty accurate to race around, which is pretty cool. The track itself here in Assetto Corsa has 35 pits, and it's actually a pretty fun layout. It has a little bit of elevation change, but besides that, it is a pretty flat circuit, all things considered, but still some very fun corners, long straights, hard braking zones, so you're gonna get some overtaking action, as well as a few little S's and squiggly bits around, so you will have a little bit of a challenge as well if you're in something a bit faster. But regardless, a very fun track to race around, and one I'm very curious to see as it gets updated how good this thing will turn out. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list, we have the Mini Cooper Sport 500. This is made by La Pistuia. I hope I'm saying that right. It's something like that over on Race Department. This mod actually came out back in July, but I do believe it flew under my radar, so I've rediscovered it here today and am going over it. This is, of course, a vintage Mini Cooper race car from the year 2000. It has 63 brake horsepower, 95 newton meters of torque. It weighs 730 kilograms. So this thing is definitely not going to be the fastest, but is also the ground floor, if you will, for any kind of tin top GT racing in real life. So if you do want to get more of a grassroots club racing kind of experience with a GT car, this is definitely going to be one to check out, and it is very high quality. It's got all of the modern day CSP bells and whistles, and the physics feel very nice to drive around. These are always kind of my favorite cars, the slower, Mazda MX-5s, Mini Coopers, things like that are definitely my favorite to throw around a circuit with the AI, so this one is very fun. You can find it down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list, we have Marmaris Race Circuit. This is made by Aaron Tusky over on Race Department, and it is a fictional track based in Turkey. And I will say that Mr. Aaron here is a big fan of Spa, because he's even thrown in an Eau Rouge clone onto this track. But besides that, 4.7 kilometers long. It's got 44 pits. That's its full layout. It also does have a national layout as well if you do want to mess around with that. But regardless, it is a pretty fun track, all things considered. It's pretty simple. It's a lot of long straight lines into hard braking zones, but you do have kind of a technical first sector going around this track. Besides that, the trackside details are very, very nice, and it's a very, very good looking track, especially for being a fictional one. So it's going to keep being updated. I imagine it already has been a bit, so if it gets even better from here, it will definitely be a nice addition to your Assetto Corsa library if you do like fictional circuits. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. Next up on the list is actually a pack of cars, the Caterham Caterham 420R as well as the R300. Today we're going to be looking at the 420R since it is from 2020, but if you do want to look at the R300, it's from 2008, so if you want to get some like Top Gear vibes going for that one episode or something like that, then you can mess around with that. But we're going to be looking at the 420R today. This is a Caterham race car. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them, especially if you live in the UK. It has 175 brake horsepower, 201 newton meters of torque. It just weighs 585 kilograms, and they are basically kind of kit cars that you can use to go racing in real life. It's definitely geared towards a club racing kind of aspect, but the cars are relatively affordable as far as race cars go, and you can even build them yourself if you want. At least you could back in the day. But it is a very, very fun car to drive. It's actually pretty unique to drive. It does have a lot of suspension roll and things like that, so you definitely have to master. But once you do, it is a quite fun car to throw around a Brands Hatch or a Donington Park or something like that. So definitely want to check out if you like these more club racing kind of cars. You can find this one down in the link in the description below. The final mod on today's list is made by Shin, and it is Monza from 1998. This is, of course, adding to his now long list of 1998 F1 circuits here in Assetto Corsa. And just like all the other ones, this one is very, very high quality. 5.8 kilometers long. It has 30 pits, so if you want to do some 1990s GT racing around here, you will be able to do that as well. But, of course, ideally, you're throwing Formula 1 around here, and it is Monza. The really only difference compared to today's layout, besides the trackside details, is the second chicane after the turn 1 chicane. The whole thing's a little bit different, but back in the day there were 2 of them instead of 1, so definitely something that might throw you off if you've never driven this layout before. But regardless, a very fun layout. It's Monza, so it is always going to be enjoyable, and hey, maybe it'll reduce the deaths into T1 just a little bit if you were racing this with the AI and they didn't know what they were doing, because sometimes the AI are just like us. But anyway, very, very cool track mod, very high quality. You can find this one down in the Patreon link in the description below. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy this video, a like and a sub would mean a lot. Once again, be sure to check out my second channel, JC Racing. It'll be the top link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.